Mike Kerby on your right. Brennan DeCandio is on your left. Both these players 4-1 here in the Berglund Center, Roanoke, Virginia, for our Season 1 Invitational.
We'll see how effective this this deck is from Mike Kerby. I would expect Brennan's deck to just be smoother. You know, like I said, we've got that core of the energy deck that we just know is super solid. So the rest of the cards, you know, are just kind of along for the ride almost.
For Kerby, his Blue-Red Emerge deck, going to start things off with this Bar of Canals. DeCandio is going to search for a mountain with that Evolving Wilds. But continue. Any thoughts on who's going to win here? Any expectations?
I mean, initially, I would have to put my money on Brennan. Like, he's just showed us over and over that he can figure out standard and really exploit it. That's where a lot of his success has been this season. And he's working with more of a known commodity. Like I said, he's taken it, he's changed it some, he's made it his own, but it's not so wildly out there that we don't know what's going on. This Elder Deep Fiend graveyard style deck that Kerby has showed up with is more of an unknown element here.
Brennan's got some mana to work with here, serving the Conduit and all that jazz. Kozilek's turn looks like going to try to take care of some creatures.
And it looks like Brennan has a whole lot of nothing going on so far this game.
There's a Rogue Refiner that'll be added to the hand, it looks like. So, yeah, not a ton going on here for DeCandio. Picked up a copy of Botanical Sanctum. Let's go to a Rogue Refiner. A little more energy here. Draw a card, play another Sanctum, pass the turn back.
And the key for Michael Kerby to get going this game is a lot of his card drawing spells. He has 4 Cathartic Reunion, 3 Tormenting Voice, and 2 Fevered Visions in his deck. And that's how he fills up his graveyard, and then he tries to work from there.
Well, there's Cathartic Reunion. Discarding a Prized Amalgam, and give me one more, Mike. There goes the Kozilek's return. A couple of cards on the way there for Kerby.
It looks like he's flush with Elder Deep Fiends over there.
No shortage?
Working on a pair. It might be the trips.
Okay. He's going to need to get a creature on the battlefield then, that's for sure. Here comes Rogue Refiner in for some damage. Now there's a Tireless Tracker. Clue on the way, I imagine. Yep, there's a Forest Clue here for Brennan. We're going to go back over to Kerby here, who's, I want to say stuck on lands, but I don't think that's entirely true, because his deck can still function off of this number of lands. I think he's got a land to play anyway. He's going to go towards another Cathartic Reunion. I see a Fiery Temper being discarded, along with a Lightning Axe. Madness the Temper, try to take care of the Tracker. That'll work. 3 cards to the graveyards, 3 cards come into hand. There's a Mountain, pass the turn back. Brennan going to sacrifice a Clue. He'll draw a card. Now he'll untap those 5 lands. That Rogue Refiner, he'll draw. Picked up a copy of World Breaker. Has a copy of Glorybringer with a single red mana. Just firing on all cylinders. Absolutely.
It's not free to play 3 colors.
No, it's not.
It's kind of easy.
It's pretty free.
Kind of easy, but when you show up with your double red spells, sometimes it doesn't work out.
Well, Rogue Refiner feeling a little frisky, maybe?
It's not doing anything on defense,
Yep.
that's for sure.
Take a look at the old graveyard there. I believe there's a Stitchwing Scab down there in the graveyard. That Elder Deep Fiend can emerge through. It is a little weird, I will say this, as Rogue Refiner is going to attack. Elder Deep Fiend was one of the more powerful cards to come out of that set.
Yeah.
We have not seen much of it in Standard.
There was a lot of hype around it.
Oh, yeah.
But there were so many other powerful things going on. When you could be playing Elder Deep Fiend when it first came out, people were playing Emrakul.
True. Very true. Here's Cathartic Reunion again. So, Fiery Temper and I believe Stitchwing Scab. Elder Deep Fiend is going to come in. And I take it back. That makes it advanced Stitchwing. My scab knowledge is a little it's a little loose right now. It's not quite as good as it should be. There it is. There's the big fella, the zombie horror.
It's kind of all the same, right?
I mean, more or less, yeah. Free cards to get back from the graveyard to emerge. Elder Deep Fiend.
I mean, Brennan is a pretty good spot here. With his Elder Deep Fiend on the board, he's got that dragon in his hand, which is going to be good if he ever draws another red source.
Yeah.
You know, he's just playing from ahead most of this game.
Brennan will draw. Picked up a Vessel Nascency. Perhaps that finds him his other red source. He's got the Glorybringer in hand. He's going to crack the Vessel first. We'll get to his hand in just a moment. Hub, Tracker, Hub, Traverse. It's a weird one.
That is a weird one. You know, you want this Tracker. It's just such a good card. But he needs the land.
He's got so much energy for Hub, too. He's going to get another energy up for 5. Now he's going to come in for 5. And the hand now for Brennan, the Glorybringer we've already talked about. He's got a Harness Lightning, a World Breaker, and a Kozilek's Return over there. Kerby going to do a little bit of math, see what he can figure out. He's behind the 8 ball right now. He's got his engine kind of going, I would say, with all the Cathartic Reunions and everything else he's been doing. He'll play a Sanctum of Ugin, which means he'll be able to hopefully start chaining together a couple Elder Deep Fiends.
Yeah, ideally he wants to rebuy one of his fatties and then just immediately get an Elder Deep Fiend into play here. But I think he's choked on blue sources in order to be able to do that.
Here's a Tormenting Voice, going to discard a Fiery Temper. And he's going upstairs with the Temper.
Getting a little work done.
Yeah. Draw 2 cards off the Tormenting Voice. And simply pass the turn back, will Mike. Brennan's untapping. Now he's drawing. Picked up another copy of Elder Deep Fiend.
That's a good one.
Yeah. He's going to play Glorybringer now. You know how powerful that card can be. And Mike Kerby cannot beat it. So, Brennan DeCandio is going to win game number 1 here over Michael Kerby. Team of Delirium up a game here over Blue Red Emerge, in which Blue Red Emerge saw a lot of cards but didn't really do anything with them.
Yeah, we saw both the players generate some card advantage. Brennan threw his creatures and Mike threw the Fiery Tempers. I think there were 3 of them that he cast for 1 mana that game. But all of Brennan's card advantage came on a stick. You know, applied pressure, he got a little more value out of it. All of Michael's card advantage was reactive, and he was just always behind.
Yeah, unfortunately for him. So now we take a look at the sideboards here, and I'm very curious to see what both these players are going to bring to the table. We'll start with Michael Kerby, who's got 2 Fever Divisions, 2 Dispels, 2 more Glorybringers, a Biforce and a Gate, 2 Magma Sprays, 2 Hazoret the Fervent, a Wretch Griff, a Drakehaven, and a Release the Gremlins. Craig, given that you are the Blue-Red Emerge Master, I'm sure you know what to do here against Teamer Delirium, correct?
Yeah, I mean, this matchup, if he's going to be playing from behind a lot, I don't think I'd want a card like Fevered Visions.
Okay.
Brennan did have a decent number of cards in his hand, but he's got enough 2-drops and 3-drops that I think he can get onto the board relatively quick. So I would not play a card like that. But on the flip side, when your opponent has a bunch of creatures, a card like Glorybringer seems very good to me. The Magma Sprays are probably going to come in as well. I don't know about some of these other cards.
We are going to take a look here at DeCandio's deck. A lot of 2s and 1s. Buckle up, everybody. 2 Negate, 2 Confiscation Coup, 2 Magma Sprays, and here come the fun-ofs. Disallow another Glorybringer, Ishkana, Graf Widow, Goblin Dark Dwellers. Forgot that card was even legal. It's been so long since I've seen it. Chandra Torture Defiance, Cut Ribbons, 1 Tireless Tracker, a Manglehorn, and a World Breaker.
Yeah, and the question for Brennan is, how does he think this game is going to play out? If it's going to go kind of long, does he want a card like World Breaker? I would just always be bringing in another Tireless Tracker. It's a card that I think generally when I see it in people's sideboards, I ask myself how they didn't just get it into the main deck to start with. It's too good of a card to just be in the sideboard. A lot of these other cards, this is a weird matchup. I don't know what he wants, man. what do you want from me?
Well, he also didn't see, I mean, he saw a lot, but he didn't see Deep Fiends, I don't think.
No, but I think he has enough information to know what's going on in the matchup.
Okay.
Like you're able to figure out what else is going on. You see all these Stitchwings, Scabs, and Advanced Stitchwings, a whole bunch of discard spells, the prized amalgams. You know what's going on here.
That's just a little brew.
Yeah. Well, but also you know that there's going to be a bigger payoff card in there, likely Elder Deep Fiend.
Yeah, more than likely. This will be kind of interesting to see as they do shake it up. Very quickly here, let's talk about the Tarmo die. Not the Tarmodi, it's a Tarmo die. Don't want to confuse anybody at home.
The Tarmodi might be in development.
Big Boss is here. You can sit down and talk with him about your great idea. Keep track of creatures' power and toughness in style. We got single dice and set to 4 available now. You can head to go.starcitygames.com/Tarmo-die for more information and pick yours up today. I know players are drawing opening hands, so we'll head back over there real quick. See if they're happy. It looks like Mike's going to take a mulligan, which gives us plenty of time to learn more about Brennan DeCandio. Thanks for the mulligan, Mike. Brennan has had one heck of a year as a 27-year-old from Long Island, New York. 6 open top 8s, 2 wins. No invitational top 8s or wins just yet, but he's off to a great start here this weekend. Has the complete set of Dragon Ball Z series and watches it once a year. Big fan of Chipotle. Looking for a sponsorship deal, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And self-proclaimed catchphrase master, which is just a bold-faced lie. So that's fine.
We've talked about that one before.
Yeah, that's just a bold-faced lie.
You are looking to catchphrase for dollar bills.
You know, I don't like Tom Martell much, but I'll play catchphrase with him. Great teammate.
Wow.
I kid.
Wow.
Tom and I are great pals.
Great pals, huh?
We're great pals.
When's the last time you talked to Tom?
Last weekend in GP Cleveland.
There you go.
He said Cleveland had crappy food.
So you're not great pals.
No. That's because he didn't know where to go. And then I recommended somewhere to go, and he's like, Cleveland has good food.
Sure.
Yeah, I know, Tom. I know. Cathartic Reunion's going to allow Mike to discard a couple of cards and, of course, prize amalgam among them. So he'll be able to get that zombie back, I have to imagine, at some point this game. In the meantime, it's that dastardly Servant of the Conduit. Very powerful card.
Yeah, hopefully Mike can get one of the, his Stitch Wings back right away, get a zombie or 2 onto the board with it, and be able to play proactively this game.
It's a Tormenting Voice. It's Cathartic Reunion, discarding 2 lands. 2, 3. Does he have a 3rd land? This would be awkward.
I can't imagine he doesn't.
All right. He's got actually 2 more.
Yeah, multiple.
Yep, there's a mountain pass the turn back. Let's go over to Brennan DeCandio. Kozilek's return the draw.
That's an interesting one.
I'm not convinced he knows everything that's going on here. Here's a Vessel Crack. Elder Deep Fiend, Botanical Sanctum, ×2, and an Evolving Wilds.
We're getting big.
Yep. Deep Fiend's hard to pass up on. Very powerful card, of course.
All right, Servant, let's teach him a lesson.
Yeah, in for 2.
That's why that card's too good.
Yeah, completely busted. Attacks and generates mana. Never seen anything like it before. Kirby's 4th turn. Is it time for another Tormenting Voice-esque effect? All right, Fiery Temper. Oh, the value. Draw 1. Draw 2. Ignoring these Tormenting Voices, I'm still waiting for Michael to actually do something.
Yeah.
But it's been cool watching these discards and draws.
Yeah, he's killed a few things these first 2 games.
Yeah.
Drawn a lot of cards. Discarded some cards. Lost a game.
I want to see some emerging take place. It's the name of the deck. For DeCandio, Traverse. Creature, land, and enchantment. I don't think he has anything else, though. It looks like he's heading for a basic mountain. Yeah.
Gotta catch those dragons, man.
Well, somehow. He'll just pass the turn back over to Kerby. Kerby will draw. Picked up a Spire Bluff Canal. He'll play an island. And simply pass the turn back.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Bit of a standoff here.
Well, Brennan's thinking about just putting that K return into his graveyard.
Yep.
That's what he's going to do.
Okay. He's going to deal 2 damage to everything, and in this instance, everything is nothing. What do we have now? We might be on the upkeep here. Okay, so he's going to get back a Stitchwing Scab, discarding a Prized Amalgam. So there'll be triggers to bring Prized Amalgams back, and now we're going to have an Elder Deep Fiend looking to Time Walk Brennan. This was a good turn.
Yeah, above average for sure.
Yeah. So Brennan can float some mana, harness lightning that Elder Deep Fiend. And then we're going to have Prized Amalgams come back at the end of turn, so long as Mike does remember, which he will. He's not 4-1 on accident. Time to untap and draw.
All right, Mike, we like this. Get to see what this deck does.
Finally! in for 6. Brennan down to 14.
Yeah, free zombies are good enough for modern. They got to be good enough for standard, right?
I would hope so. All right, get back this Stitchwing friend again. And Deep Fiend's the last card.
A lot of time walks here.
Yeah. The only thing he's missing from this whole time walk equation is the old Sanctum of Ugin. Brennan drew his own Elder Deep Fiend. Somehow we're just in an Elder Deep Fiend mirror. Not quite sure what year this is. I think he can fire, he can fire this thing up, and then if there's no answer here, DeCandio's dead, and he is dead. Well, there. Enough of the cathartic reunions of tormenting voices. Mike actually played some creatures and kicked his butt.
Yeah, just chained together some 5/6s that time walk the opponent.
That'll work for me. Blue-red Emerge going to tie things up here against Team Delirium. So now I'm really curious to see how Brennan sideboards, because now he's got a better idea of exactly what Mike Kerby's up to.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Kozilek's return still stays in. It's better than most of his spot removal. If he expects always multiple zombies, that's a way to scoop up all of those cards.
It's better than nothing, I think. I don't think it's the best card in the matchup, but I'm not sure he has enough stuff to board out.
Yeah.
Where are those K returns at? Main deck or sideboard? He's got 4 main? Yeah, because he's like kind of an Emerge deck. Yeah, maybe he's cut some. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I would be surprised if all 4 of those were still in the deck.
All right, fair enough. All righty, folks. Well, these players, I'm not going to go back to the drawing board too long, but while they do, we're going to take a look at SCG Game Night. That's what we're going to do, because we got 3 months of fun stuff to talk about, and I said we were going to talk about Smell Snare, and I'm a man of my word. Now, you've seen on our lapels that we got Goose St. Trav. You're familiar with the Goose. The Goose is loose.
The Goose is loose.
All July long at your local game night, pins and tokens. August, good old Puggernaut giving beatdowns. Will not be Waldolf. Will our artifact creature beast, 6/6. But most importantly here in September, Smell Snare.
You like this one.
It's a really good one. I can't think of stuff like this. My brain doesn't work that way. I just know what I like.
Your brain doesn't work that. You don't think you're combining skunks and Spell Snare?
No, I can't do that. I can't make a 1/1 wizard skunk token. But I can tell you that in September it'll be at SCG Game Night. Go.starcitygames.com/game night for more info. If you like your store to have this, all you gotta do is get in touch with a starcitygames.com organized play a representative. As we get ready here for game number 3.
Some people are just on another level, you know?
Look, it's like a pun thing. I'm not good at puns. Is that even a pun? Is that a pun? What do you call that? It's a kind of a pun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not good at those.
It's more just straight up parody.
Yeah, it's not my thing. I couldn't think of like Corgi Firewalk or anything. Like it's not what I'm paid to do.
All right.
Okay. They wouldn't get a lot for their money if that's what I was paid to do.
Well, and then you need to decide when you come up with the Puggernaut.
Okay.
You have to decide how big Puggernaut's actually going to be.
Also true.
How do they arrive at a 6/6 Puggernaut?
Also true, which is something I'm not capable of doing. I would have just made it a 5/3 Juggernaut wall, which is not anything. That's literally not anything.
You were so close to Juggernaut there.
Yeah, 5/3 Juggernaut wall. Print it. That's can't attack, can't really block. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and what card makes a 5/3 Puggernaut wall?
Also that. That's why I just have the headset on, man. You gotta know your limitations. This is what I'm sort of good at.
Well, we're happy that you're here.
Good.
And not doing Puggernaut walls.
Me too. Both players are going to take a mulligan down to 6 here. Keep in mind we got 2 more rounds of standard today. Matthias Hunt and Ryan Overturf will be taking you home this evening, as we're going to have at least 1-8-0 today, maybe 2, here from the Berglund Center in Roanoke of Virginia. At SCG Tour, hashtag SCGINVI all weekend long if you want to join in the conversation on Twitter. Been a lot of fun so far. Saw some great rounds of Modern. We're working our way through what is essentially a brand new but short standard format.
Yep.
Where players get to kind of brew, and both these 2 players are brewing in a big way here in Teamer Delirium and Blue-Red Emerge.
You call it short, but I think it's still very significant.
I think this stuff matters.
This is the base that the new format will build off of.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. But we can't forget that we got that brand new set in Hour of Devastation that's coming out in 2 weeks.
Oh, it's that. I wasn't even aware there was a new set.
Brand new.
You say it's called Hour of Devastation?
Hour of Devastation.
Okay.
Yeah. Nicol Bolas is not happy at all.
What happened? Did someone have his alarm go off at like 7 a.m. this morning?
Oh, you're still upset about that?
Well, Nicol Bolas didn't get enough sleep.
I shut it off pretty quick. Okay.
Yeah. It only went off for like a solid 60 to 90 seconds.
That is definitely not true. That's definitely not true. It went off for about 5 seconds. You woke up. It's too early for an alarm. And I shut it off.
And it was too early for an alarm.
I didn't disagree, and I went back to sleep too.
I'm just saying maybe that's why Nicol Bolas is so.
Oh, that's it.
That's ornery.
That's why he's killing all of the gods of Amonkhet and the Gatewatch.
Yeah, they set the alarm too early.
Yeah, alarm too early. Got it. It's definitely, you're definitely right. You should be writing the Magic storyline like I should be producing the creature collection. We're doing the wrong things here. A couple blue-red duels for each player. Brennan's going to start off with Servant of the Conduit. He's got some energy and a little bit of acceleration for Kerby. He's got a Spire Bluff Canal, a Wandering Fumarole, and probably some sort of Tormenting Voice effect. Yep, it's a Cathartic Reunion. Oh, the value. 2-price Amalgams right to the graveyard.
Well, we saw game one. It looks like value only if you get them back.
Well, Chandra's had a schedule, so this can undo a mulligan pretty well. Plus it, Glorybringer is going to be exiled, and Kerby will take 2. And these blue-red decks do have some difficulty taking care of Planeswalkers, so this Chandra Torch of Defiance could be a good one.
Yeah, we saw Mike really take a while to get onto the board. He established control in game 2, but it took him a little bit before he actually started closing out the game. And so something like a Planeswalker that's hard to interact with can definitely put pressure on him.
Better get moving against that Chandra. A card that could be primed to move here in the new Standard format. Always one of the more powerful cards that's been in Standard, but hasn't really dominated like, say, a Gideon Ally or Zendikar has.
There's so many good cards in Standard.
No shortage.
I have some particular hits that I think are just way underplayed.
Mike was thinking Cathartic Reunion there, but he's slowing down a scotch.
You know, you had mentioned Goblin Dark Dwellers.
Seriously forgot that card existed.
It's so good, that card.
It's so good and sees no play.
And just not good enough. I think Ronus is...
It's a good card.
Super good.
Yeah.
She's very little play right now.
Yeah, it's a good card. Kirby's turn is over, so we head back over to Brennan.
All the Eldrazi.
Yeah, they're all really good too.
They're absurd.
Pull out the shot.
They just don't see any play right now.
Thought Knots here criminally underplayed.
Yep.
For how good it is.
Reality Smasher, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes Heart of Kieran just pushes cards out of the format, man. That card's busted. Chandra up to 6. Traverse the Uvenwald will be cast. If Brennan needed a land, he's found one. No Delirium, of course, but it looks like he's on the hunt for a basic forest.
So close to Delirium.
Yeah, one type now. Quarter of the way home. Tireless Tracker. Out of energy, but land, clue, and a Vessel of Nascency. So though this is a mulligan to 5 here for DeCandio, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on now.
Mike picked up a copy of one of those blue zombie flyers that he can bring back from the graveyard. Scab.
Yeah, and that's a good peel for him. I mean, he really needs to get a Kozilek's Return going on here.
He's got another Cathartic Reunion, so he's going to use that to discard an advanced Stitchwing and a Mountain. 1, 2, 3. Fiery Temper in hand now. As much fun as it is to draw and discard, he better get killing that Tireless Tracker. He's going to be in some serious trouble.
Well, what about the Chandra? It's on 6 counters right now.
Also an issue. Also an issue.
You know, I've never seen it, but I hear that an ultimated Chandra is...
I actually don't think I've ever seen one.
Tough one to beat.
Yeah. Probably a little difficult to defeat the Torch of Defiance. There's a Lightning Axe, discarding a Tormenting Voice, going to kill the tracker. I think that's smart. You really didn't get to discard the Fiery Temper. You want to take care of the tracker if you can.
Oh, yeah.
Such a good card.
And it looks like Michael is close to executing that game plan.
Mm-hmm.
He has a creature to get back from the graveyard. He's got some prized amalgams. It looked like he had 2 Elder Deep Fiends in his hand.
Well, Brennan's going to use a Vessel Nascency. Evolving Wilds, Botanical Sanctum, negate, disallow. Not quite.
Not a lot of options there.
Not quite. Looks like he's going to take Evolving Wilds. Chandra up, Island will be exiled for good. Michael take 2, going to fall down to 16.
And I'm a little surprised that Brennan didn't tick up with Chandra first.
Okay.
It would have left him with all of his mana to work with.
So he has more info about what's going on?
Depending on what he hits. If he just hits that land, then he can still sacrifice the vessel afterwards.
We go back over to Mike Kerby. Picked up another copy of Fiery Temper.
Those are important to keep Chandra from ultimating next turn.
Super important. Here's a Sanctum of Ugin. Gonna take a look at the graveyard. Again, 2 prized amalgams. Looks like Advanced Stitchwing down there.
Yeah, I think Michael's gonna be able to turn the corner here and just completely take over this game.
He can do some nice work here, I think. All right, it's time to get that thing back. 2 Fiery Tempers are going to be discarded. A little Madness, obviously. See if he wants to pay the cost on both. Looks like he does. Servant and going to go upstairs. We might see a redirection.
I would expect a redirection.
Over to Chandra. Yep, there's your redirection. Stay away from that ultimate.
It's kind of important.
Yep. Triggers. Amalgam will be coming back to the battlefield soon enough.
Well, it looks like that happened during the end step.
Looks like it. Maybe to play around some sort of Kozilek's Return or something. Sweltering Suns, Radiant Flames, who knows?
Yeah.
Plus it, World Breaker, huh?
So close.
Gone for good. Okay. Michael take 2, down to 14. Let's make it 12, actually. Cycle. This deck has literally a little everything. Found a little room for a Sheltered Thicket, huh? And now Brennan will pass the turn back. All right, Amalgam's back. Untapping. And drawing is Michael Kerby. He has at least 1 copy of Elder Deep Fiend in play, which means he can chain into another one. He might be in the driver's seat here, Craig.
Yeah, like I said, I think that last turn was the critical turn. Now he's just fully in control of this game. He's going to be able to finish all Chandra. He's got a bunch of threats. He can start time walking his opponent by tapping all of the things in Brennan's upkeep. I think he's going to close out this game in just, 2 or 3 turns here.
And he said, I'm coming at you.
Oh, he's just going to ignore the Chandra.
I don't care about Chandra.
Yeah. Who does?
No one on Kaladesh, that's for sure. Harness Lightning, maybe? I'm going to take care of Prize Amalgam? Sure. Always happy to make that exchange. Creature that can come back. Now the pain train of Elder Deep Fiends might be on the way here in just a moment, folks.
Choo choo.
Yeah, and if that's the case, I don't know how many more turns Brennan DeCandio is going to actually play here. Looks like he's going to start by sacrificing Evolving Wilds on the end step. He's certainly given it some thought. Maybe not. Mike thinking about a little something here if he wants to play Wandering Fumarole. All right, he said he won't. And Brennan's going to sacrifice the Evolving Wilds. He's going to get a basic forest. He will shuffle.
Yeah, Kerby wants to keep some cards in his hand in case something goes wrong here, and then he can discard those cards to rebuy a Stitchwing later in the game.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go over to DeCandio. Kirby's going to stop Brennan in his upkeep. It's Elder Deep Fiend time. I think we might see him sacrifice Prized Amalgam. Yeah. Let's see what lands he wants to cut off here. He has the ability to cut entire color here from Brennan this turn.
Yep.
He can cut off all the reds with the 2 Spiroglyph Canals and a mountain. He can cut off all the blue with the 2 Spiroglyph Canals and the Botanical Sanctum. Or he can cut off all the greens with the 2 forests and the Botanical Sanctum. Looks like there you go. He's going to cut off all the reds and the blues. Brennan probably floated some mana so he can crack the vessel, and he did. So top 4 cards here for him. Rogue Refiner, Grapple with the Past, and Traverse the Uvenwald. Still has a blue and a red floating here. I don't think he'll be using it, though. We'll find out soon enough. Draw for the turn. Another copy of the old Sheltered Thicket.
A little awkward.
And not a great time to cycle. Hasn't used Chandra yet, but you've seen that Mike doesn't really care about the Planeswalker anymore. He could have killed it last turn, elected not to. So Brennan can't really put a high premium on that card because Mike has decided he doesn't even care about it anymore.
All right, so we've seen 3 whole games, or almost 3 whole games now with this, we'll call it Teamer Delirium Brew out of Brennan. What do you think of this deck?
It's trying to do a lot.
Yeah.
It's trying to do a lot of different things. It's trying to emerge Elder Deep Fiend. It's trying to get Delirium online for Traverse. It's got an energy package. It's got Glorybringer because it's good. It's trying to do a lot of stuff.
Yep, it's got a World Breaker in there.
Yeah, that's just floating around in Traverse 4, I guess. I've always got concerns when I see a deck trying to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I kind of wish this deck was a little more focused. I feel like just the regular Teamer energy deck has so many similar cards, and it's just more focused on what it's trying to do each game.
Well, he's got some counter magic after sideboard, disallow, negate in a deck that has Vessel, Nascency, and Grapple with the Past. It doesn't mean those things can't work. They obviously can. We've seen them work in the past, but it feels to me like he's trying to do a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. For better or worse. And he's having some difficulty right now against Michael Kerby.
Yeah, I mean, I like all of these cards.
Same.
I just don't know if I like this combination.
Chandra down to 3. Kerby will play a Wandering Fumarole now. He'll pass the turn back. Perhaps Michael Kerby trying to hang on.
Yeah, I'm not sure what would get Brennan out of this situation. He's in a really tight spot.
Pretty tough, especially with how big Elder Deep Fiend is, 5'6".
Yeah.
It's a tough card to work through. He'll cycle, Sheltered Thicket. And it looks like Michael Kerby's going to have some upkeep effects. Elder Deep Fiend. Sacrifice there, trigger the Sanctum of Ugin. This is really bad news for Brennan.
Yeah, pretty, pretty bad.
I like to state the obvious sometimes here in the booth. Kerby going to resolve the Sanctum of Ugin. Chaining Deep Fiend, something we have seen before with Sanctum. And many moons ago in the hands of Andrew Brown, who now works for Wizards of the Coast with his Teamer Emerge decks. Used to like exploding out Elder Deep Fiends and Wretched Grifts before casting an Emrakul, the Promised End. The top end is gone, but there's still some power here in this Emerge strategy.
Well, and if Kerby didn't even want to search up another Deep Fiend, it's probably right to get it. But if he didn't want to get it, you know, he would have had 3 mana up to, I don't know if he had the cards in the hand, but if you could rebuy the Stitchwing, it's going to bring those zombies back along with it, too.
Mm-hmm. Here's Ishkana.
Ooh, that's a start.
It's a temporary roadblock, but it is a start. assuming that it's bringing along spiders, which it is. Well, there's a Deep Fiend to tap, 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 so it's not a start.
Not a start.
It's actually not a start at all. It's a finish. For Michael Kerby, who's going to win this match over Brennan DeCandio. 2-1. Blue-Red Emerge going to win this match here over this Teamer Delirium Brew from DeCandio. And now it's actually Michael Kerby, who is 5-1 here in our Invitational. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, obviously a very strong start to this event.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like what he is doing, maybe it does line up pretty well against this Teamer Delirium deck. You know, Brennan just did not have a lot of pressure that game. You know, just a little clunky through the mid game there. He had a whole lot of card sorting. You know, he has the Vessel, he has